Transformations of the quadratic parent function. That is lesson 21 of topic C of unit 4. Here's example 1. This will be about the 101st time we've done completing the square. The reason why we're doing this today to start this lesson is why? Pertinent to the lesson, that's right. We have to remember how to do this so that we can be successful in what we're doing today. Okay, does anybody remember what the first step is to completing the square? Your first step is to group your first two items, 2x squared plus 12x. Okay, we have grouped those together. We have a number other than 1 on the x squared. We have a 2. So what should my next step be? When we divide both of those items by 2, and 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. And then 12x divided by 2 is 6x. Remember, we have a space that is left over here and 1 over here. With that in mind, what is the next step? So what we would have to do is half of this 6 divide by 2 to get 3, square the 3, which is this 9. But we haven't added 9, we've really added 18, 2 times 9. And since we're on the same side of the equal sign, what we do in here, we must do the opposite out here. This is plus 18, so now we have minus 18. What should I do next? You have to write it in the completed square form next. Remember that you use the variable, the sign from the middle, half of that middle term, square the quantity, your 2 stays outside, 1 minus 18 is minus 17. What is the vertex of this function? The vertex is -3, -17. Remember that comes from here, the opposite of this for the -3, but this stays the same, -17. What is the parent graph or the parent function? The parent function or the parent graph is x squared, and I made it a of x equals x squared. You have 25 other letters to choose in the alphabet. I chose a. You have to make it different from the f. How has the parent graph been translated? So tell me about the movements that were made from x squared in order to get to this item up here. It went 3 left, 17 down, and it has a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. The graph of the function f of x equals x squared has been translated by shifting 2 units to the left, 3 units down, and stretched vertically by a factor of 2. What is the new function? He said C first. So we'll do C. We're going to choose C of x, and then equals, what do I put first? A 2, and that comes from stretched vertically by a factor of 2. Okay, what do I put next? Parentheses. What goes on the parentheses? Square. And then inside we have x what? X plus 2, and that comes from shifting 2 units to the left. Left on the x-axis is negative, but we do the opposite when we put it in here, and it's plus 2. And then what? Minus 3. Yes, that comes from 3 units down. The graph of the function of f of x equals x squared has been translated by shifting 5 units to the left, 2 units up, and stretched vertically by a factor of 4. What is the new function? What do I write first?
P of x equals parentheses.
Yeah. Parentheses? Do we put parentheses in? A 4. Okay, 4.
Parentheses.
Yeah.
And then squared.
Yeah.
Either be minus or plus 2 on the outside.
Plus 2 on the outside.
Yeah.
And then plus 5 on the inside.
X plus 5 on the inside.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So the 4 came from stretched vertically by a factor of 4. The 5 came from 5 units to the left. Left on the x-axis is negative, but we put it in as plus 5. And then the 2 came from 2 units up, plus 2. For tonight's homework, you will have a problem similar to this in which you have to graph each of these functions. Now, if you'll notice the first, g of x, it's in completed square form. So if I want to graph this, then what is the first thing that I can take out of this function and plot onto the graph paper? What?
Minus 3, which would be plus 3, and plus 4. So your starting point would be 3, 4.
That's right. The vertex is 3, 4. That's what I can take out of that first function. So we'll go over to 3, 4 and plot the point. I'll do this in black, and here is 3, 4. That's the vertex. Will this open up or down? Down because why?
The vertex is above the x-axis.
No, it's negative 2x.
It's a negative 2 on the front of it, so that means it's going to open down. Okay, when I want to find or make the graph of a function, I can take out the vertex and plot it like I just did. How do I come up with points to put on there?
You've got to find the y and x intercepts.
Oh, we could find x and y intercepts. Do they have to be intercepts?
I guess not. Oh, you can just plug in numbers in the x side.
Yeah, we could just plug in numbers and give me a number that, and take note here that this is the vertex. Give me an x value on either side of that vertex.
3. Or 2.
You want to choose 2?
Yeah.
All right, we'll choose 2. Come over here and put a 2 in to this function. What is 2 minus 3? Negative 1. What is the square of negative 1?
Plus 1.
Positive 1. What's 1 times a negative 2?
Negative 2.
What's negative 2 plus 4?
Negative 2. 4. 2. Correct.
2.
Positive 2, yes. So come over here, and we put in a 1.
Why would we put it in 1?
We put in a 1. Or no, we put in a 2, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, we put in a 2 and came back with what?
1. Or 2. 2.
We came back with 2. Okay. Now here's the vertex. Here's the vertex here, and we chose one that was 1 away from it. What number should I plug in next?
4.
1, 2.
4, 1 to the right. Can you tell me what the result of that will be without even doing the math?
4. 2.
It'll be 2.
Oh.
Yes.
So much plus
And if we go over here and just look at this one alone, just this one, 4 minus 3 is 1, squared is 1, times a negative 2 is negative 2, plus 4 is 2. So it comes out to be the same thing if you choose the point the same distance away. And this one, now we have an idea of what this will look like. So there is your graph, and I believe that was g of x. So we will label that.
Is this one supposed to be pointed or?
The next one is h of x. What can I take out of the h of x?
5, which would be negative 5, and positive 1.
Yeah, the vertex is negative 5, 1. So we will go back 5 and then up 1. We'll do this in red. There is the vertex. Let's try to spread these points out a little bit so that we can get a more accurate shape on our graph. Instead of choosing them one away from the vertex, how far away would you like to go?
-3.
We'll go over to, well, I think we'll try 3, -3. We'll come over to here and choose that one, and then we'll go over here and choose this one. If I put a -3 into that function, what is -3 plus 5? 2. What is 2 squared?
-2.
2 squared.
-4.
2 squared. 4 is right. It is 4. 4 times a -3. -12. What's -12 plus 1? -11. So I plugged in a -3 and came back with -11. So it should be right here. If we spread out our points a little bit, we'll get a more accurate understanding of how the graph should be shaped. Now, if I plug in a -7, what should I get back? -11. So there's the shape of our graph, and it makes it a little easier and quicker to sketch the graph. So there's that, and that. Not the best curve I could have made there, but I'm just making it worse now. Alright, so this one is h of x. The next one we're going to look at is k of x. What's the vertex?
-4, -3.
-4, -3 is the vertex. Okay, so we'll go back 4 and down 3. We'll do this one in green. Back 4, down 3 is right here. Alright, let's go 2 away on either side. So if I go 2 to the right, I'm going to be choosing -2. If I put in -2, here -2 plus 4 is 2. 2 squared. 4 times 2 minus 3, 5. Yes. Alright, so let's go back over here. And we put in -2 and came back with a 5. If I put in a -6, what should I come back with? A 5. Alright, so we can draw that graph. Oh, that's a little bit curved there. That's nasty, but k of x. And then on your homework tonight, you'll have some that look like this. X squared minus 2x, and then x squared minus 2x plus 3. If you want, you can refer back to what we did to start this lesson. If p of x equals x squared minus 2x, then you should know how to change that to completed square form, where x squared minus 2x are grouped together. The number is 1 on the x squared, so there's nothing to factor out. Half of the minus 2 is minus 1, and square that to get plus 1. But on the outside, you write minus 1 to balance it out. And the completed square form would look like this. And you can take your vertex out of that and come up with 1, -1. And then go to the graph and do the same thing that we've been doing. You can also complete the square on the last one there, where t of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 3. You can do x squared minus 2x. Half of minus 2 is minus 1. Square it to get plus 1. And then minus 1 on the outside. So x minus 1 quantity squared plus 2. Come up with your vertex and be able to answer questions about these in your homework.